start, before we went live, a player I have not heard of before, but someone who consistently does well in these tournaments.
Exactly. That's the cool thing about Titled Tuesdays, right? You have the international masters and even the lower rated players occasionally being up there. And I am Renato Terry is one of the international masters, always towards the top in Titled Tuesdays. So are these two players. This is Magnus Carlsen with the white pieces on 5 out of 5 against Jan-Krzysztof Duda, the Polish superstar, on 5 out of 5. What are we seeing on this board?
Yeah, we've seen what's pretty much amounted to a Queen's Gambit accepted, where the whole center has exploded. So it's a totally symmetrical pawn structure. If you look at the pawns alone, they mirror each other. It's all about the piece play. White is slightly ahead in piece development. White has already castled. White's queen has already moved. So I wouldn't be surprised if Magnus utilizes the turn here to gain a bit more time, attack the black queen, take the open file. Ultimately, if neither side is able to gain an immediate advantage, this should just be dead level due to the nature of the pawns. So Magnus needs to use his extra move. I think his plan is to push this pawn forward and achieve what we've been talking about.
Double bishops, yeah. This is beautiful. Beautiful looking.
Well, there we go. Oof. Be careful about casting now if you're black.
So then maybe this is a game where we won't see a black castle.
Oh, sooner or later, he probably has to, but I wouldn't feel confident about it. Duda. And look how he's doing the same. He's like, anything you could do, I can do better.
So now you've allowed the bishop to capture the knight and open that pawn, but are you a bit hesitant to do that if you're white, because the rook can sort of stare at your king long term? Is that what he's calculating right now?
Yeah, 100% agree. Like, that's the critical move. Bishop takes knight. It's either very good or very bad, and he probably wants to wait till black is castled.
Yeah.
That's a great spot. The black rook otherwise would occupy a nice open line, and Duda's taken away that option now. He's kind of revealed the reason he put his queen on this slightly mysterious square is because he wants to put his knight in the center and trade as much off as possible.
Jan-Krzysztof Duda is number 20 in the world in classical chess. He's played all the Titled Tuesdays in the autumn split, and he scored a 2nd place in game week 3. 3rd place last week. He's won 10 Titled Tuesdays in history. Someone who definitely can beat Magnus Carlsen.
Yeah, and he has beaten him in some very, very important games over the years. And at the World Cup, for example, in Norway chess, he ended Magnus's 125-game unbeaten streak.
Wow.
So Duda has been a bit of a kryptonite. But in recent online events, in recent Blitz, Magnus has had the upper hand again.
And also Duda's been struggling with motivation in over-the-board chess, correct?
Yeah, he chose not to play some big tournaments. I wasn't sure if it was the Grand Swiss or the World Cup, but he chose not to play one of those to focus on other things. Players so strong as Duda not fighting for the World Championship is a pity. But yeah, he's maybe just trying to regain that motivation that he's lost.
It is a mentally tough game. I mean, I wouldn't know from experience, but I know from talking to David and to many other chess players. Have you experienced that, the mental toughness of chess?
I think it's, yeah, the toughness of it, especially if you play a lot of games in a row. But it's also very addictive.
Yeah.
You feel like you can sort of equate chess to your intelligence in some way, and you want to have a higher intelligence score by having a higher rating. And you feel like, man, if I lose now and my score drops below this point, I really have to, So it can become sort of just at my amateur level, something you think about, but at the top level, with this being something you have to live off of. And I know, for example, I was at Norway Chess last year and I spoke with Caruana. And at the time, they were doing a tournament, and then outside of that, also doing about 4 or 5 hours of study outside the tournament games. So it is a very rigid, strict schedule these top players follow to get to this level. So yeah, you have to be willing to put in the time to become the best, I'm guessing.
Exactly.
It's not easy.
You hit the nail on the head there. Ego is a big part of it. Like chess players, we attach a lot of self-worth to our results, which probably isn't healthy, but it's natural. And it's so easy to say one more game. One more game in chess, just like in many other sports and esports. In the meantime, Magnus here with a small advantage. Nothing decisive yet, but essentially his rooks are better than the opponent's rooks. And the white knight better than the black knight. So those add up right now to a small advantage. If he could get the queens off, I think Magnus would be quite happy, since black's queen is the only piece that's maybe superior to its counterpart.
Would you ever infiltrate with the knight and trade it off to get the rook up to the 7th rank here? Is that all good, or?
Ooh, yeah, I like that idea. I think he's found something even better,
this
Magnus.
looks...
That queen is almost trapped. She has to swap off now. And that would allow the white rook, after maybe a trade, to enter without a trade of knights. Ooh, also, wait, there's knight takes bishop. And watch out, the bishop's coming to skewer the 2 black rooks.
Oh. And Duda sees it, yeah. Shock on his face right now.
Oh, he saw it too late. Magnus's move earlier, f4, was genius. He foresaw this 4-5 move variation. He saw all of it in advance, and Duda, he painted himself into a corner there. Instead of allowing the rooks to get skewered on this diagonal, he takes a pawn, but now the white rook can... Okay, it attacks the knight instead. He could have gone up, as you mentioned there earlier, Virtual. Instead, he's trying to sell the knight for the highest price possible, take some pawns. Now the skewer would allow the black rook to come and check. But Magnus, he's got a bishop for 2 pawns. It's more than enough for victory here.
Wow, he is not looking happy, Jan-Krzysztof Duda. Less than 2 minutes on the clock and in a hopeless situation on the board against the world number 1. Magnus with a genius move there.
Yeah, the genius. Just some moves are genius. We were saying queen sacrifices, pawn promotions, unexpected castling. But seeing 4-5 moves ahead, that's super satisfying as a player. Knowing that your opponent stopped a bit too early in their mind, stopped too early, evaluated it wrong. Magnus, if he gets time now, he's going to start ganging up on this light squared pawn.
And I know also with chess, a lot of these beautiful variations never happen on the board. You see them, but your opponent is able to counter them. But it's fun to actually see one play out when that was missed. You see like, wow, these are things they're thinking about that we get to see actually acted out. Yeah.
Exactly. 90% is kind of beneath the surface. It never gets talked about, never gets seen, but occasionally these beautiful moves do occur. And okay, Jan-Krzysztof Duda is trying to create some counterplay, but it's going to be too little too late. The white bishop now.
Is there any drawing conditions for black? Like if it's rook and bishop versus the rook, is that a draw on paper?
On paper, it's a draw.
Yeah.
In practice, it's
very hard, probably. Yeah.
Very hard, especially under 1 minute. I think even with 1 hour, a lot of top grandmasters have lost that one. So Jan-Krzysztof Duda, he would love to trade off his 3 for white's 2. But yeah, the problem is white's pawn is so far ahead in this race. Magnus, he's going to check. He's going to put his pawn 1 square forward. He's going to support his pawn with the bishop, move the rook out the way, and that's going to cost black his rook step by step.
Yeah, look at Jan-Krzysztof Duda. That is not a happy face. 40 seconds left on his clock. Magnus is massively better. He's fighting to go up to 6 out of 6 here in game week 7. So is Jan Nepomniachtchi. He's playing against Sina Movahed in round 6. And Sina is better in that game. All right, maybe we will see another game between Magnus Carlsen and Sina Movahed in the next round. But first, of course, you have to get the ball into the net. Will it be a victory for Magnus here in round 6?
Yeah, he's trying to dodge the checks. If the rook continue checking, the white king will zigzag its way towards that rook. And Duda does look almost resigned to his fate here. 12 seconds on the clock. The clock goes red. It's not going to save him. The white rook just needs 1 more move to get out of the way, and a new queen will be born. This is game over. Duda's about to click the resign button. There we go. Magnus on 6 out of 6.
Look at that. Magnus Carlsen is on a roll today. He's on fire. Having a kid hasn't slowed him down. He's still sleeping well. He is playing fantastic chess. He's on 6 out of 6, you guys. Another win, and this time against